Well, this time of year, you go shopping for the perfect gift or groceries for the perfect meal, but once you leave the store, look out. Someone may be setting their sights on you and your goods.
Juggings are violent personal crimes that can cost you and your family thousands of dollars and can even put your life at risk. KPRC2 Investigates Mario Diaz recently met with law enforcement for tips to help keep you safe at a time when the numbers show that juggings are up significantly.
Easy money. I can take her. She's 5 foot tall, weighs maybe 100 pounds. And she's our next good victim because she wears jewelry and she drives a big car.
Vicky Carr laughs now, but she didn't back on November 11th after an HPD detective knocked on the front door and informed her.
You were followed from HEB on Katy Freeway.
You were targeted by juggers.
I was targeted by men, bad guys, who were intended harm.
Carr was very lucky. A sting operation already had several officers monitoring the crew, and they trailed the suspects following Carr 17 miles to her daughter's home.
I was shocked, had no idea that I had been followed.
Taken down, handcuffed before they could do harm. Again, Carr was one of the lucky ones. But others in our area have not been as fortunate of late. HPD's Robbery channel on YouTube showcasing several examples of juggings, criminals following victims in parking lots and to their homes.
We're seeing, 20% some months, up to 40% in some months of an increase of the number of juggings.
HPD's own numbers show juggings in 2022 have already surpassed 2021 totals, with November and December numbers not even posted yet.
The workload for us and even our detectives is a lot more during the holiday season.
Keep in mind, juggings have taken place far beyond Houston's city limits. And with the holiday season upon us, law enforcement around our area is gearing up.
The thieves are shopping too.
But they're not going to pay.
No. Unfortunately, they're making their living off of your hard work.
We talked with Sugarland and Houston Police for advice to share with holiday shoppers.
If you're going to be making any big purchases, like if you're going to Apple or Best Buy, and I don't mean to pick on them, but if those are your big purchases, electronics and things like that, jewelry, not to go out to lunch afterwards and leave it in your car. Take it straight home and really pay attention to what's going on around you.
Paying attention, the #1 tip we heard from law enforcement, especially when heading to your vehicle.
Walk with your keys in your hand, pay attention, keep your head on a swivel.
To everybody, when you're leaving out a store, get off your cell phone.
They're looking for the easy target.
Easy targets also translates to the elderly in many cases, like Miss Carr. But according to HPD, the target, more often than not,
it's mostly females that have children with them.
Which is why shopping in groups is another key tip we heard from law enforcement. And the final piece of advice to prevent a jugging, it has to do with the drive home.
If you feel you're a victim, you're possibly being followed this holiday season, is get on the phone, call 911 and describe your situation. Don't drive home, stay on the phone and until they tell you, hey, there's an officer behind you.
And how do you know if someone is following you?
So an easy way to do that is to make 3 or 4 rights to get back on your same street, or 3 or 4 lefts to get back on the same street. And if they're still behind you, that's when you call 911. Don't go home.
Since being targeted for a potential jugging, Carr has continued with her life the way she always has.
I refuse to live afraid. I'm not afraid.
One final piece of advice we heard: if you can online shop for a product, do so. Many big purchases provide free delivery. And just make sure that you are at home for that delivery, or schedule it to your work if possible, to avoid the potential of porch pirates. Mario Diaz, KPRC2 Investigates.
The countdown to Christmas begins at Rural Camp.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on. A little something to think about at the beginning of our episode tonight. Juggings. That is in Houston, but of course it's going on all over the United States. As a matter of fact, last week, my nephew, his store was robbed. My niece works at a Petco, and they were held up at gunpoint. tonight I went out to get some treats for Doofus Dog and Doofus Cat and a couple other things I needed here. And I went to the nearby dollar store, and a scuffle broke out as I was back in the pet department between a clerk and customers. I thought they were customers who were there trying to shoplift and rob the place. So a fitting opening, if you will, to tonight's episode. And a chilly episode it is. It was 70 degrees here yesterday. It was 28 today, and not much warmer at the moment. So a chilly episode and a unique episode. I've never been in a store where a crime has taken place. That was a first for me tonight. So also I've got a different camera set up. Hopefully it won't be going all fuzzy on me. Okay. And let's see. Yeah, just head on a swivel. I say that all the time, no matter where you're at, what you're doing, head on a swivel, because you never know what's going to happen. During these holiday seasons, especially the way the times are, definite head on a swivel no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing. Thank you for being here at the moment, and for clicking on, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we're on. And a lot of stuff to cover, starting with a happy birthday to you. Our very own moderator Sissy McLeod is having a birthday today. Happy birthday, Sissy. We thank you for all you do, and all the mods for all they do. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with this. For everybody in chat, for everybody watching, for everybody watching the replay, again, thank you all for watching. If you're in the chat, the mods in the chat are protective of this platform, and I prefer it that way. Sometimes they may get a little quick on the draw on comments, but again, I would rather have a mistaken comment get timed out than have the platform go down. So mods, make sure you're handling things. I know you do, and I love you for it, and I thank you for it. And chatters, respect the mods, because all they're doing is trying to keep us up on the air. And at some point, more than likely, there's going to be an attack on the channel. And when that does, mods, swing the hammers freely. And if you're not part of the problem, if you're here as a normal viewer, when that attack happens, just get out of the way. Hopefully it never does, but as they say, the times they are a-changing. So again, thank you to Sissy, and a very happy birthday to Sissy. Let me go back up here and start. There's Sissy. Ohana, Mission Impossible. Dun, 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 dun. Hot Mess Summer. I'll go ahead, since I'm on Summer's name in the chat. A couple of court cases today, and Summer went to court this afternoon. Anytime you go to court, if you've never been to court, don't go if you can't. If you don't absolutely have to, avoid the court systems at all costs is tonight's piece of advice. Because when you go to court, no matter what it is, no matter how big, small, petty, or significant, it is stressful. It is tense, and the more often you have to go, the more stressful and the more tense it gets. And if you have to go alone, you really get in your head at times. So kudos to Summer and to Lori Arnold and Summer Dickerson. Both of them had court today, and Lori was served with a order to appear for a potential restraining order from David Riddell, and that's all I know at the moment. And I know she's home. I know she's safe. I imagine she's probably resting. I have heard from her that she is back to her place and safe. And I didn't press to find out any more details. And Summer's, if you've watched the channel, you know that there's a big tie-in here, because the person that Summer is having a major problem with has actually been on this program. First time, I wasn't aware he was going to be on. He came on. The second time, he wanted to come on because he had the keys. He had significant information that was going to help turn everything around on the Breonna Taylor case. It ended up not quite being the purpose of him coming on, but nonetheless, there's a tie-in even here. That's how far it's spread with what Summer's been dealing with and how long it's been going on. And Summer had a bit of a victory today, I think. Summer, you want to come up here real quick and tell everybody what happened today? She may not be in the mood because she's been doing outreach all day, or outreach all evening and into the night. So if you're not up for it, I totally understand. But Summer, if you want to come up and kind of explain what happened, since it's your story, I'd really like for them to hear it from you. And we'll wait here for a second and see. And in the meantime, I'll say hi to Feisty Mama. And who else is up here? Why is it not going up? Here we go. Lepreux, GA from CA, from this I know. Macaulay, hello. Hello to all of you. Cunning Stunt, Just Joan, Oomph. Have I hit everybody? Hi, Tanya. Make sure I really try not to. Hi, D. Good evening, DM. And thank you from this I know. Jungle Jane, hello. And True Celtic Mutt, hello to you as well. Jerry Garcia, man, am I glad you're here. I would really like to have you on the program sometime. I'd like to have you on. I'd like to have Baldy Banks. Hang on just a second, please. Hey, kiddo, I'm doing a live show. All right, is everything okay? Did you survive the storms? Everything's good? Grandbaby's okay? All right, call me back. Give me like an hour and a half. Love you, kiddo. Bye. Sorry, that was my daughter, and anytime my daughter calls, especially at 11 o'clock or after, I kind of got to pick it up. Yeah, I want to have Jerry on. I'd like to have Baldy Banks on. I'd like to have Lolo's Lounge on. I'd like to have America 2.0 Media, Vaughn Michelle. There are a lot of people I'd like to have on. So if anybody wants to come on that hadn't been on that I just mentioned, hit me up in the email, americandufus@gmail.com, and we'll set up a time. Special K, hi Special K. Rare occasion that I'm awake for a live. Usually I have to watch the morning after. Thank you so much for watching the morning after. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Kay. Thank you. Queenie, hello. Please have me on one day. Send me an email, Queenie, okay? And we will consider it. I'm not sure who you are, Queenie, to be honest with you, but like I said, send me an email. Tanya Rushadan, Highbury in Florida. Man, a lot has happened from way back. Yes, indeed. Okay, Queenie. One day, can you please do a show about my inability for being a decent person? I'm having problems with my manners. Alrighty then. Bonjour. Feisty Mama again. Thank you, Bunny. Mike, how are you? I don't know. I don't know if the two dogs got a restraining order on Lori or not. I will find out, and we'll talk about that coming up too. But circling back, which is what you have to do when you get on a tangent, you have to circle back. Summer had a victory today, and in the fact that the guy's not going to be bothering her for at least 6 more months, because he had a court case earlier in the day, and apparently he had some kind of conflict with a law enforcement officer, and has 6 more months added on to his sentence. And while the judge Summer went in front of, to my understanding, the judge Summer went in front of said that there is a court date set for in January. However, the judge recommended that Summer pursue legal consequences, legal charges, and up to this point has just been trying to just, get everybody to just leave her alone, basically. And now it's gotten to the point where it's become criminal. So that just gives you a brief idea of what 2 of the very strong women that you see on this program, Lori Arnold and Summer Dickerson, have been going through today. So salute to all the strong, beautiful women we have that watch this program, as well as to all the very handsome and intelligent lads we have watching this program. Oh, what a night. Okay, I'm going to have to start posting, boys on the left, girls on the right, and if you're going to dance, no explicit dance moves in the chat, okay? Just to keep it may be one of those nights. It may be one of those nights where the show's only 35 minutes long, or it may be one of those nights where it's 3 hours. Jerry Garcia, if you're willing, I would really like to have you on here sometime. So I think your work is fascinating, and it's amazing. I honestly, at least once a day, if not more often, at least once a day, I catch myself going, "We Tifa." So very impactful, and bravo. Thank you, Cunning. Actually, I've been wearing it again. I've been wearing it most of the day, so I thought, I'll just come on and we'll just do it. Lolo's Lounge, I would really like to have you on here sometime too, and maybe we can do something where I'm on your platform and you interview me, and you're on my platform and I interview you. I enjoy. There are some people that from the first time I see them, I'm just like, I would really like to have that person on my show. I can tell how interesting that person is, and I want to talk with them. And Lolo was one of those people. The first time I saw her on AP's stream, and I thought, I really want to find out who this person is, and I'd like to have her on the show. AP was the same way. The first time I saw her, I'm like, I got to get this personality on the show. And there have been more. And one kind of popped out all of a sudden that I hadn't even been thinking about. Frosty Brews. A lot of you may not know who Frosty Brews is, but the first time I saw him, I was in there and there was like 10 people watching. He was sitting drinking a beer in Washington, D.C. and talking. I thought, man, this is an interesting cat. I'd really like to sit down and talk with him. And but then some, other things got in the way, so I never pursued that one at all. But I still think that would be an interesting interview. So still waiting for the show. Special case, still waiting for the show with AP, Aunt Lori, and J Met. Now that would be epic. We'll see if we can't do that. I'm open to it, of course. You'd like to see me interviewed, Macaulay? Frosty Brew moved back to Colorado. Okay, maybe that's why I haven't seen him. Again, I thought, and the way he traversed Washington D.C. and the things he showed, and I like that kind of stuff, and I thought he was unique, and I like talking to people. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Ruth Sanders. I don't know Ruth Sanders. I know he was at a 1776. I know he was at their thing when they were in Washington, D.C. at the mall, but I don't know if he was pro or just, investigating. I don't know. Okay, so let's see if did I forget anything? Thank you to Cunning Stunt and to GA from CA for coming on last night. They're going to be regulars on here. You'll see them at least once a week. And depending on how things go and what's happening, you may see them a lot more often. But fabulous. They were funny. They were informative, and people, and the feedback I got, people loved them. So thank you to the two of them. And no, we're not going to, at least not in the near future. We are not going to unlock them. You're not going to see their faces. I don't see their faces. I will try to arrange it the next time so that you can see which one of them is talking, because their voices sound really similar. Max, okay, Max, thank you. Thank you, Feisty Mama. Yeah, I thought it was a good. DOA had an amazing stream tonight. Cool. Love to have DOA back on here anytime. The same, of course, with AP and Pluck. Yeah, I'd like to get. I would like to get all four of them on at the same time, and I think I'm getting to where I've got going to have the equipment to be able to handle all of that without any kind of buffering or anything. So, nope, not going to happen. Wouldn't be prudent. So we are not going to be showing GA from CA or Cunning Stunt, which a little mystery. Nothing wrong with a little mystery. People like a little mystery. Just trust that both of them are incredibly beautiful women. All right? And leave the rest to your imagination as you hear their voices in the coming episodes. What about Golden Chariot Dom? Would you interview him? If I could, yeah, I probably would. Um, I'm not real keen on giving any more platform spaces to people tied directly to 1776. I had put some, offers out there. I'd like to have a conversation, especially with some of the females in 1776. I didn't hear back from anybody, but I didn't really expect to. But I was hoping to possibly have an interview and get some. I'd like to see how close Dom's affiliated. I'd like to hear Dom's backstory from Dom, and yeah, I probably would. I'd probably have him on. GA from CA were drop dead effing gorgeous. I have absolutely no doubt. Dom was in DC tonight with J6. Well, we've had J6ers on here. Lori Arnold, and only that was. I think she has a different perspective possibly now. And I'm not speaking for her in any way, shape, or form. I'm just postulating. I'd like to ask him some questions. Yeah, so annoying when people pretend to be other people. I guess there's someone who pretends to be me too. Okay, Macaulay, get her in there and sing her song. No. The J6 thing was pretty hilarious tonight. Well, oomph, if Dom agrees to come on here, I'll make sure and let you know in advance, and get your questions out. Hello, Lonnie. How are you? Again, thank you all for watching, everybody. I haven't even started the news yet. I told one of my very good friends I don't have a lot tonight, so this will probably be a short episode. But it'll be all about the chat. So I don't think I single-handedly run the. Hold on a second. Wait, let me get back. The Canadian Freedom Fighters. Okay, okay. I'm guessing this is not the real Queenie, and I see, I know who Queenie is now. Okay, send me an email if you're the real deal. Yeah, I'd really like to talk with you, especially if you're ready for civil war in Canada. Yeah. Okay. Fake. Okay. All right. Total Tro Queenie. Okay, that's kind of what I figured. Hi, Bunny B. All right. Like I said, I haven't even got to the news yet, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. Here's what the mainstream media has as far as breaking news for the 30th day and final day of November. I guess that means I should probably shave. I was doing the no shave Movember. And some people were doing a no watch November, so I wonder if they're going to start watching again after midnight when we let it all hang down. New York Times says Hakeem Jeffries has been elected leader of the House Democrats, replacing Nancy Pelosi. AP News, this is Associated Press, not Anarchy Princess. House votes to avert rail strike. They're imposing a deal on the rail unions, and anytime unions have anything imposed on them, it's not always a good situation. So this may not be at an end. I hope it is, especially this time of year, especially with the amount of fuel and food and everything else that is shipped by rail. But I'm just saying, something to think about. That's what we do here, just give you things to think about. Los Angeles Times headlines is a Virginia cop pretended to be a 17-year-old boy and groomed a Riverside, California girl before driving across the country. He was actually 28, Virginia police officer. Drove across the country before killing her family and taking her hostage, and then subsequently dying in a shootout. CNN headline, Department of Justice wants all transcripts and evidence in the House January 6th probe. That's according to the Chief Justice, or the Attorney General Garland. What the Oath Keepers' sedition verdict means for the Justice Department's probe on Trump's criminal activities. We talked about this last night. We talked about it last night. CNN is bringing it up a couple hours ago, that now that those are set, the dominoes will fall one direction or the other, and possibly in multiple directions. This is the last thing Donald Trump wanted to have happen, other than possibly his tax returns being turned over to the House Democrats. And they're now in the hands of the House Democrats. That's according to NBC News. So that's what's happening in the mainstream in the of headlines, and not a whole lot on Twitter. We'll go ahead and go down the scroll. Weeks on a plane. We've had Sharknadoes. I love the Sharknado movies. I know they're absolutely ludicrous, but you know, what can I say? I'm a big fan of Spinal Tap too. Now it's finally time for Cocaine Bear. Yes, that's right. A bear goes on a coked out killing spree in Cocaine Bear. A concerned mother, played by Kerry Russell, goes toe-to-toe with a coked-up bear to protect her own cubs in Elizabeth Banks' upcoming comedy thriller. So, as someone who's I've written 13 screenplays and had one of them be called Absolutely Absurd, and it was way more absurd than this absurd. However, there is an incident in Kentucky where a bear found someone's stash of cocaine and ate the cocaine and died. It didn't get all coked out and become and go on a killing spree. It had a heart attack and died. Crowds of people could be seen gathering outside Boston City Hall as they waited for Prince and Princess of Wales to arrive. The event at City Hall will kick off the royals' first U.S. visit in 8 years. And by the way, they flew on a commercial plane, and they actually walked up and down the aisles and shook hands and took pictures and talked to the other people on the flight, like they were halfway normal. Scientists build a baby worm as sci-fi moves closer to fact. Those of you who watch the program know we do some science stuff. I got a couple of science things coming up here in just a few minutes, as a matter of fact. And I'm a big fan of the Big Bang Theory, because it made you think and gave you things to think about. And one of the things that made me think was how dangerous scientists can be, experimental physical scientists. And I didn't want to go back to that. I'm going to have to dig into this a little bit, because this is concerning. And speaking of screenplays, one of the screenplays I wrote was about wormholes. Sam Bankman-Fried, 30-year-old founder of a now bankrupt crypto empire, said he, quote, didn't even mean to commit fraud to anybody. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried says he didn't intend to commit fraud, didn't ever try to commit fraud on anyone. So we'll see how all that plays out. And Madison Cawthorn gave his farewell speech to Congress today. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to use the quote here. Our young men, he was to our young men, you're taught that being a soft metrosexual is more valuable than training mind, body, and soul. I ask the young men of this nation, will you reclaim your masculinity? Will you become a man to be feared? And I'm all right with my masculinity. You know, I don't need to reclaim anything. I'm pretty happy, and I got a significant amount of it, in my opinion. But thanks for playing. Russia partially mobilized 300,000 reservists back in September and then did a draft. And it seems that all of those close to 1 million people have not made much of a difference. So they are doing just what we said they would do back then, gearing up for a second draft, which should give you a sign. Here's your sign. 3 years ago today, a man in Wuhan, China, 3 years ago today, a man in Wuhan, China, starts feeling ill and later becomes the first confirmed case of COVID-19. Since then, more than 6.6 million people have died. COVID-19 pandemic enters its fourth year. Third anniversary of when the first confirmed patient fell ill. So it was 3 years ago. We're now entering the fourth year of the pandemic. By the way, America, land of the greed, home of the grave. My latest book, it's available in the description in the comments below, or if you'd like an autographed copy, it's only $25 for an autographed copy. That includes shipping and handling, and the proceeds go to help buy my grandkids Christmas presents. I shut down here accidentally a little bit too early. COVID-19's been around for a long time, and I'm personally about sick of it, but you know, what are you going to do? The man who broke into the Capitol to sell a hat. Come on. I just went back down there. Man tried to sell a hat that he stole from a police officer for $16 on Twitter. That, of course, got him arrested. Marjorie Taylor Greene says Congress is like Narnia. Quote, remember in the movie Narnia where the witch, the Ice Queen, she was losing her power. Democrat members of Congress, they never used to say hello to me, but are actually smiling and starting to say hello. And Pelosi is the Ice Queen. Okay. A little self-important right there. This is something we're not really proud of, but we got a report on it. Indiana prosecutor is seeking to punish the doctor who performed the abortion of the 10-year-old from Ohio who had to come to Indiana to get to abortion. Indiana prosecutors are going after the doctor. Just something to think about. Vatican website was down. This is 4 hours ago from Reuters. The Vatican website is down, and there's a suspected hacker attack going on. So there we go. That wraps up our Twitter scroll for the night. Hello, Max Smith. Hello, always be kind. Hello to everybody in chat. Hello to everybody watching not in chat. Hello, everybody watching tomorrow morning with your breakfast or at noon with your lunch or whenever it may be if you're out driving. Okay. So, sore arm and slight flu symptoms, easiest one I've got. I'm guessing you got a booster. I'm fully vaxxed and boosted, and I feel like it's an insurance policy, so that if there is a major outbreak, which they are predicting is a possibility once it gets really cold and everybody gets back inside again, it doesn't take long for stuff to spread. That includes the flu, really bad flu season going on. But yeah, I'm fully vaxxed and boosted, and I've had the flu shot, and I've had the shingles vaccine. So I'm good to go for a long time, hopefully. But that's me. Everybody should have the choice, make their own choices about their body. And when I say that, that extends far beyond my opinion about vaccinations. That goes all the way to a woman, especially having a right to determine what happens with her body. It's her body. It should be her choice. Yeah, I'm not quite ready for anything, but yeah, you know what? I might just about be ready for anything. Who knows? Including a convoy of good guys. We teased about that a little bit last night. If you haven't seen last night's episode, please go back and watch it. Informative, and I think it was entertaining, thanks to the presence of Cunning Stunt and GA from CA. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves, I believe, so I'm going to get back to a couple other things I wanted to share. And again, a couple of science-y things tonight. There we go. This first comes from CNN Science Department. An incredibly bright flash that appeared in the night sky back in February, that's February of this year, was the result of a star straying too close to a supermassive black hole. Supermassive black hole. Meeting its ultimate end, and there it was ripped to shreds. The cosmic event actually occurred 8.5 billion light years away from Earth, and it occurred when the universe was just a third of its current age. So that gives you a concept of how massive if we saw in February something that happened billions and billions of years ago, when the Earth was just, or when the universe was just a third of its current age. It's created more questions than answers. The signal from the luminous explosion, known as AT2022 CMC, Music Factory, was first picked up by the Zwicky Transit facility, and that's at California Institute of Technology at their Palomar Observatory, and that occurred on February the 11th. So something that exploded into the skies, and let me see if I can get to a point where the picture, there we go. This is what happens when a star moves and becomes shredded by its gravitational pull. So light is coming out, and normally, or in the past, I'd always thought that everything was absorbed into a black hole, including light. So maybe we're learning something new. And one other just little small bit of science, and then I'll hop back over into the chat for a few minutes. Okay. We've got those that have watched the show for a long time know that we have different viewpoints of different scientific things we share on here, trying to, just again give people things to think about. And one of the persons we have on is a guy named Gene, and Gene is from England and has an observatory, and Gene is tracking the movement of the North Pole, and we'll show Gene coming up we'll show Gene in coming episodes. But in the meantime, one of the other people we have on is Ben Davidson, and Ben is controversial in the scientific community, but he's talking about the movement of the magnetic poles. And while I've just showed you a couple of scientific things, and while I've said, some scientists are potentially dangerous, Ben is one that has some theories that are just that, theories, okay? The theories are based upon facts, and the fact is both the magnetic North Pole and the magnetic South Pole are moving, and moving rapidly compared to normal movements. And we're just going to take a quick look at about 3.5 minutes of Ben Davidson's latest episode. It's Suspicious Observers is the name of the channel, and here we go.
Hey, time for another Q&A video. We're going to be focused here on the magnetic pole shift of the planet. We're going to start with two things that are absolutely not a coincidence. Another thing that is a good FYI, a good factoid to know. And then we actually have some essential administrative / back-end things to discuss as well. So let's jump right into it. What you're seeing here, this is a map of the Earth spread out. It shows the north magnetic pole, the south magnetic pole, where they've come to at this point, the arrows pointing to their current direction of motion. There is a star where they are set to meet, and then we've put a star on the opposite side of the planet, which would be the opposite pole. Now, here's the interesting thing. We usually discuss of the way that the ice weight is going and pull the part of Antarctica south of Australia up to the equator. This is the math that's been done several times, and it just so happens Greenland and that part of Antarctica south of Australia pulled them to the equator. Those two white stars become the new poles. And so if you conversely take those two white stars and you tilt a globe to put them at the poles, you've got Greenland and Antarctica at the equator. And so we have both the mathematics that was done in decades past and the current pole movement both telling the exact same story. We tend not to ignore coincidences like that. It's one of the ways we know what the new poles are going to be, the way the Earth is going to shift this round. It's a brand new geomagnetic observatory, something built to monitor Earth's magnetic field, built by the Indonesian government in concert with a couple other governments actually, and they are putting it in the exact spot where these poles are set to meet. And not only is that blatantly obvious from just looking at the map, but there is no other reason to put it right there. Why wouldn't you put it on land? Why would you spend all the money to create this observatory that is where it is? Because they know exactly where the magnetic poles are going to. So that's, neither one of those things are coincidence at all. The fact that both the math on the tilt based on ice weight and the observed polar motion tell the same story, and the fact that the governments in Southern Asia are creating a new observatory for Earth's magnetic field, and they've put it in the exact spot where the poles are going to meet. Neither one of those things is a coincidence, and it all, again, tells the same story. Next, we've been getting a fair number of questions about the South Magnetic Pole, and that's fair. We haven't gone over this in a couple of months, actually, but this is actually the official movement of the South Magnetic Pole right here. It is ahead of the game, although moving more slowly at this point than the North Magnetic Pole. The North Magnetic Pole is playing a bit of catch-up. But the South Magnetic Pole has already left the continent of Antarctica. It is moving to the ocean, and what you see here, green would be the most thing, and you know, as you come towards the orange, the red, the purples, those would be the dates into the past. And if you can see in the zoomed in image how the circles seem to be further and further apart, what that increments of where the South Magnetic Pole is actually moving. And so that further distance apart of those most recent circles indicates that the South Magnetic Pole is starting to speed up as well. So we already know that it's ahead in the game. The North has been moving faster. It's been playing catch up, but the South Magnetic Pole is starting to increase its velocity. All of this, again, part of the same story, Earth's magnetic pole shift. And again, what you're seeing there is the South Pole is beginning to speed up as well. A couple other things. We've been getting a bunch of...
So, just wanted to share that with everybody, just because you're probably not going to hear about it. And again, it is, while it is a theory, what happens when the two magnetic poles move, when they flip, when they cross. While all of that is theoretical, we have no idea because humanity has never witnessed it. While it is all theoretical that the Earth is going to tilt and shift and there's going to be where the poles are now will be the equator, and where the equator is now will be the poles. All that's theoretical. We have no idea if that's going to happen. It looks like it might. We have no idea when. We do have an idea when on magnetic poles, but as far as all the other, how long it will take, again, it's all theoretical, with the exception of the fact both of the magnetic poles, both the North Pole and the South Pole, are moving and moving rapidly. So that is the one fact we can take away from a lot of the inference. Now that doesn't mean he's wrong either. All right. So anyway, that's our science for tonight. Going to be bad for our great and great great grandchildren. Again, depending on how long it takes. It has happened in the past. There is scientific evidence it's happened in the past. Both the migrations of the poles and an actual flip. You know, there's a whole bunch of green land underneath Antarctica. At one time it was warm. At one time it might have even been tropical, and it may return to that. That is basically what Ben is saying there. Pretty convenient solution for climate change. Yeah, it really is something that nobody's considering impacting climate change, and they're trying to throw trillions of dollars at things that aren't impacting climate change. something to think about. How we have our seasons. Okay, U.S. Patriot Lady, hello. I'm not sure if you're laughing at me or if you're laughing at something in chat or if you're laughing at the last little segment we played there of science, but that's okay. We do science on here. Science. Blinding you with science, with facts, with knowledge, with speculation, with things to think about, things to open your mind. Who'd have thunk it on YouTube? Okay, so we are coming up on the 1 hour mark. I said it's going to be a relatively short one tonight, and 1 hour is relatively short. Thank you, Cunning Stunt. That's just like the Big Island. Why it's changing every day. Yeah, for those that watch the show, you know, about a month ago, there was a swarm of earthquakes just off the flank of Mauna Loa, and we said back then, you know, hey, this is a signal that, you know, these are harmonic quakes. You know, these aren't seismic. They're not pressure. They're harmonic. They're related to flow of magma. So yeah, a month ago we said get off the Big Island of Hawaii, and here it is. So conspiracies aren't science. No, they're not. So I'm not sure. I'm not not okay. Yeah, HARP was supposed to have been shut down, and it hasn't been. It wasn't shut down, and actually they're building more and bigger HARP facilities. Gotcha, U.S. Patriot Lady. Good. Again, thank you for being here. Carl, thank you for being here. LaPrue, volcanoes are active in Hawaii. Yes, they are currently spewing magma. Another conspiracy that volcanoes are active. Okay. All right. Chemtrails every day over my house in California. Are they blue, feisty mama, or are they white? At least people are engaging as far as, you know, what's real, what's not, what's a conspiracy, what's fact. You're talking, you're thinking. You're not, you know, just automatically listening to somebody tell you what to think. And man, that's incredibly important. So good on you, all of you engaging in everything in chat, and greatly appreciate you all watching. Okay, I'm guessing that you are all engaged in chat pretty heavily. Okay. Hey, there are a lot of things that happen that we, meaning the general public, we never know the reasons why things happen, the impact or consequences, and yeah. And a conspiracy theory is only a conspiracy theory for about 6 weeks until it's proven true or it's proven to be a lie. So I'll tell you what, it is officially 12:02. It is officially the first day of December, my birth month. And also I got to pay some bills. First day of December, officially 12:02 a.m. on the eastern part of the country. 11:02 Central, 10:02 Mountain, and 9:02 Pacific. And we thank you wherever you may be watching from again. And a special thank you to those we got a few overseas viewers that make us an international platform, and that's greatly appreciated as well. Oh, that's okay, Patriot Lady. I don't expect people to always agree with me. I don't always agree with other people on things either. But the important thing is trying to keep an open dialogue, trying to understand that we can have differences of opinions and still be civil and have civil conversations. My favorite is the birds aren't real. Okay, some birds aren't real. All right, there are robotic techniques that have been utilized, computer components that have been utilized to create artificial birds, artificial bugs, but not all birds are artificial, and not all bugs are artificial. And that was one of the craziest. That was one of the craziest things that I've ever seen take off. We all have the right to our opinions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh no. Agent Orange in Vietnam. And yes, hashtag birds are real. Anything is possible. Anything. That's true. Anything is possible. Summer, you seem to be enjoying a glass of wine, and well deserved. Everything I've seen you go through just today, pour yourself another. 1776ers don't exist? I'm afraid they do. Thank you, Patriot Lady, and I appreciate you being here. Going to shut things down here in just a couple of minutes, and how did I hear about today, Summer? I was watching. I clicked on when you were doing your street ministry, your street outreach, and then somebody else messaged me and said that he went nuts in Bullitt County. For those that don't know, Jeffersonville is the county that Louisville's in. And by the way, Louisville is not the capital of Kentucky. And the capital just south of Louisville is Bullitt County. It is a satellite county, Donut County. Jefferson County, very populated county. Bullitt County is where people one of the places people go to, or did go to try to get away from Louisville, but yet still be able to work in Louisville. And the person that has been plaguing Summer for quite a while went off in court today in Bullitt County this morning, and assaulted a police officer, and then wasn't able to be in court this afternoon up in Jefferson County, where Summer was forced to appear. So yeah, that's okay. You may go in a little bit. All right. Don't be surprised if Summer comes on live here, and feel free to head over there for an after party if she is on. There's BTM Sparky. Hi, Sparky. Hey, before I close out here, Sparky, you want to come up here for a couple of minutes and just talk here at the end for a couple of minutes? Because and the reason is Sparky she's a real responsible person and has a real job, and so she's not able to watch all the time. So now that we have her here, now that she's here, and we got just a couple of minutes, there's the link. Hop up here, Sparky. Hop up here and we'll say hey for a few minutes. I really like having other people that have channels on here, as I started to say earlier. You know, I want to get Lolo on here. I want to get Jerry Garcia, America 2.0 Media. He got a new felony charge and 6 months in jail for contempt. And again, yeah, I know how crazy it's been and for how long it's been crazy for her, because there was a long time Summer couldn't come on the program, and it was sad because we've always had incredibly great conversations, but she couldn't come on for a long time because everywhere she went, this guy was there, and that was online as well as IRL.
I don't know why I can't.
Hi there, Sparky.
Hello.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I love you
yes.
so much. I'm enjoying your sleep.
Are you?
Yeah.
You actually started reading it.
Of
awesome.
course I did. I would never disrespect another writer that way. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
It's leading me somewhere. I like that.
Good.
And
good.
No one has ever fucking called me responsible a day in my damn life. The American Doofus channel.
Well, yeah, but you get up every day when you have to get up, and you drag yourself to work, whether you feel good or not, because you're working towards a future that you've been kind of envisioning, and the job you have now makes it that much more attainable, and you're being responsible.
Yeah, I am. Like, who the hell would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought that Sparky Madness was going to grow up to be a responsible ass adult someday?
Hey, hold on just a second. Telescope's in here.
I love you, Telescope.
Telescope, is there any way you can come on tomorrow night? Come on tomorrow night or one night this weekend and talk about everything that's been going on. Let me know in the chat if you would. Sorry about that, Sparky.
Hey, he's gonna come talk to me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these characters, and everybody doesn't necessarily like everybody, but it's really cool when somebody that, like, I know where Telescope's coming from. I know where my people are coming from. But it's really cool when somebody will stand up and say, hey, wait a minute. This shit ain't right. Period. Doesn't matter if we're friends. It doesn't matter if I like you. This is not right. And when someone is a really, really good friend to you, they'll call you on your shit. They'll be like, I got a girlfriend. She calls me. She's like, look here, girlfriend. Let me tell you something. I don't know what you're into today. This is not right, and I'm just with you. We have to be able to address things. Grown up. Yeah, I was tickled. I saw Telescope somewhere else. I did a live stream that night because I wanted to talk to him, and he's like, I had to decompress. I didn't blow your live stream off. And I'm like, that's cool, dude. I totally get it. Like, that's totally cool. And please do come talk to me when you get the opportunity. I would love to hear what you have to say about it.
The first time I heard that being read,
I muted it. I muted it.
The lady, I heard it before Telescope read it.
Yeah, I did too. I had to mute it both times.
I had to stop it several times.
Yeah, but
I couldn't get through it all at once. So I really commend Telescope for putting it out there and putting it out there in a concise episode that is not hard for people to get through. You just sit there and listen, and he breaks off and has a moment of comedy here and there just because otherwise it messes with your head. If nothing has happened to you, if you're a victim, I can't imagine the triggers that it brings up to survivors.
Well, like I told some things I never told this past, like as soon as that happened. But what I will say is, Jay Met was the person that said, like, we're all talking about, she's a woman now. This is how the information came out. And she's like, she's seeing this. Well, I know where my abuser is, the one that's still alive. So, yeah, what if she is seeing this? And I did a video. I've been stepping back a little bit, like trying to do my own thing because I'm butthurt about a bunch of stuff right this second. I'm butthurt and I'm laughing, but I'm butthurt, okay? And I was like, you know what? What if she's right? And I did a video saying, look here, if you're seeing this, like we're all seeing this, if you're seeing this, I want you to see all these people that don't even know you, but they love you, and we're in your corner, and we're cheering you on, and we're standing up saying, this is not right to give this person a platform in such a way. Like, it's not right. You're guilty by association, and I don't give a shit. He pled guilty. Hello. He pled guilty. That's the bottom line.
And plus, I think
if I didn't do something, doofus, I don't care if you're going to hang my ass. I'm going to plead not guilty till the day you string that rope around my neck and pull the floor out from under me. I'm never going to plead guilty to something I did not do, period.
And I think it was incredibly important to that telescope and the lady that put it out originally, Renwall.
Yeah, Renwall Films. She's Chingy, and she's Rainbow Bright's evil twin.
Yeah, Rainbow Bright's evil twin.
Yeah, she's Rainbow Bright's evil twin. And I used to be friends with a fella in the street. I called him Uncle G. His name was G Money. And I had multicolored hair, and I always dressed, I like lots of colors and being crazy. And I used to carry all kind of toys and stupid shit around with me, and he called me Rainbow Bright. Every morning he ever saw me, he said, what are you doing, Rainbow Bright? It was so funny. And I never got to see him again. He went to live with Captain Savaho. He was headed to his house. We had a falling out, and I went home. And he was actually going the next day to pick G up from the bus station, and I went home. I'm like, no, I'm going home. I'm not going to do this. I love you. I'm so glad I got to see you, but I'm going home. And I never got to see G again. And G actually passed away at his house, and Captain Savaho's widow has G's ashes as well. And it was a beautiful thing that he got to go stay down there and, like, have a normal life somewhat. Like, he forgot who he was, but I got to talk about the character unlock. Okay. Because
all right, we did.
I'm a responsible adult. I went to bed last night when I needed to go to bed, and I got up this morning and saw my girls on your show. I was screaming and yelling and laughing, and they are funny and clever and two of the most brilliant women I've ever met in my life that I've never laid eyes on and or been able to hug. And you got them for who they really are, because I know them. I talk on the phone with them. They call and check on me. Man, you character unlocked my girls last night. You character unlocked in Georgia from California. I love them so much. The first time they ever called me, they both called me together. We just laughed and talked over each other the entire conversation, and everybody knew what was being said. So I'm really proud of them, and I'm calling them out. They have to come on my show now since they've been character unlocked by the Keymaster.
Yeah, but we didn't do a full unlock. We haven't shown everybody how beautiful these two women are, and you probably will never see them. And I like that mystery.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love them both so very much. I was so proud. I was like, how in the hell could you go to bed and miss this? But I had to go to bed.
Well, that's why I wanted to have you on here at the end, because you're being a responsible adult now, and you're not always going to be here for the 11 o'clock show. And I made too fast a motion, and my camera
Oh,
put
you're
me in it.
fine.
But
Yeah,
it
but
actually,
I'm
yeah.
enjoying your book, and I keep like doing little video, like I keep doing little advertising clips for you in my live stream.
Well, thank you. Well,
Yeah, I
thank
love
you.
you.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I'm glad you're liking it.
yeah. Like people, like when I've been supporting small businesses and locals and people that I love. Yeah, and you still haven't. You need to email me your Cash App, dude. I want to.
I will.
I need to pay you. Damn it.
I
I've
will.
got
I
it.
will.
Okay. I love
I
you
will.
so much. Like you have no
I love you
idea.
too.
You have no
Well,
idea
thank
what
you.
you do. Like I don't do the news. My TV's sitting out in my storage building. I don't watch television. I don't listen to the news. But I think it's really amazing that we all got to meet this dude that has the American Doofus channel. And even if you don't do the news, we get to come over here and hang out and get some content and like be friends with somebody that's an amazing human being.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm honored.
Yeah, look, you're awesome, dude. You just have no idea.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Hello to Robert Escobar.
I was so Robert.
Feisty
I told
mama.
Robert earlier.
Again, it's Sissy's birthday. Everybody say happy birthday to Sissy.
Oh, happy
Sissy
birthday,
McLeod.
Sissy.
Yes.
She's amazing.
So, all right. You work tomorrow?
Oh, I work when I don't work, brother. I just do.
Yeah, I know you got.
Yeah.
I know, and I so admire the fact that you work at the restaurant on Wednesday nights, just because of one customer.
Girl,
I mean, that is just.
Barry, don't you know? Look, I'm pulling. It was crazy. I'm pulling out of my job at 4:30. Okay, I'm supposed to be at the restaurant at 5. I can get to my house in 13 minutes, even in traffic. And they're calling me at 4:30 saying she couldn't wait. She's at the restaurant. I'm like, what are y'all gonna do? I want you to know that girl waited over half an hour for me to come and wait on her, and then she didn't even tell my ass goodbye. And she wants to be a lady wrestler, and I believe in her.
Yeah, a lady wrestler.
She wants to be a lady wrestler. Like I watch the stuff that she's watching on her phone, and I asked her, and I said, "You want to be a lady wrestler, don't you?" She likes Sasha Banks, and I actually I know who that is. Imagine that. So she said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you want to be a mean girl or a good girl?" She said, "I want to be a good girl." I said, "I know, right? Mean girls suck, don't they?" She said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a good girl." I said, "Girlfriend, I believe in you. I'll make sure you get there." She wants to be a WWE lady wrestler, and I believe in her, so I don't care.
Hey,
that's my girl.
There are a lot worse goals.
It was beautiful. Like when I walked in, she said, "I waited for you." She sat there like she waited for me. He said she wouldn't wait, and then she didn't know I wasn't gonna be there. And I made like I made it. I didn't even need the money. I still made good money tonight. And she didn't even tell me bye. That heifer. She didn't even say bye. They was gone. I turned her. They were out of there. So yeah, I love her. People talk about that, but like until you really love somebody and you commit to being, I'm her friend for life. She's not gonna hear of it that I'm not there on Wednesday night. She's gonna want to know where I am. So I have to show up for her. And she knows my best girlfriend's daughter. They went to school together. They both have Down syndrome. I just love people that have Down syndrome. I think that somebody said it was up syndrome, and I'm like, I like that a lot better. It's called Down syndrome. Yeah. The doctor that diagnosed it, his last name was Downs. That's the only reason it's called Down syndrome. And they're just the most pleasant, beautiful people on the face of the planet, and I'm absolutely crazy about them. I'm as crazy about people with up syndrome as I am about stinky ass homeless people. So yeah, I went to work tonight, and I'm so glad I got to like be here for this moment because it's amazing. Like you have no idea what you're doing.
I just got a little show, and I just like to talk to people.
Oh, I like to talk to people too, and I've met a whole lot of other people that like to talk to people, and I think that shit kicks ass.
We've spawned some communities.
Yeah,
You
and I'm
know?
fixing to name the winter movement. I haven't nicknamed the winter movement yet. Like we had domestic terrorist camp 2022. I have to name winter movement now because I'm sick of this bullshit. I'm so sick of it all. But you know, like if you can't laugh at it, you'll cry, and they make fun of me when I cry. So whatever. We do.
All right.
Right?
I just heard from Telescope, and we're going to do a special time tomorrow night. No, we'll just do the regular time. Regular time tomorrow night at 11 o'clock, and Telescope's going to be our guest. So we'll dive deep into this this bandit situation as well as everything else going on.
Yeah, when I
Because as much as we want it to stop, it's not stopping, and
no, like we have to stop cringing and turning away from hard subjects. It's a hard subject. Me personally, like I don't believe it should be given a platform for other people who are child rapists to be out there looking, saying, "Hey, well, you know what? He does it, and look at all these people that support him and give him money. Maybe I should do it too," because those children never get to go back to being children. And I really do hope that girl has seen this. I hope she's seen us and that she knows you and she knows Summer and she knows all these other voices where we can say, look, we're standing up for this because of you, and we don't even know you because this shit never was right to start with.
good. That's a good way to end it.
I hope so. I
All
love
right.
you.
Thank you
for having me.
Love you. My pleasure. We'll do it again next time you're available.
Yes, sir.
All right. The one and only Sparky Madness, BTM Sparky. That's the name of the channel, BTM Sparky. And BTM Sparky, Summer Dickerson both have very strong channels for survivors, victims that have survived, because a lot of victims don't survive. And these two ladies are examples of going from victim to surviving to thriving, and they both lead by example. Some are actually out there in the streets doing the stuff that a lot of people would cringe at the thought of, oh, I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna pass a blanket out the window to a homeless person to keep them from freezing tonight. That's a normal Wednesday for Summer. A lot of people would never open up to their own weaknesses, their own vulnerabilities, their own trauma, their own pain, and at the same time show you laughter and joy and overcoming. But that's what you'll see on BTM Sparky's channel. And I'm so incredibly honored to be associated with both of those strong women and both of those channels, both of those platforms, because if they only helped one person each, it would be worthy of kudos. But they give places of empowerment to people that need it, and I'm just again thankful that they'll come on here and talk with me every once in a while. I'm thankful that for everybody that comes on here. Telescope's going to be on here tomorrow night. Again, GA from CA and Cunning Stunt were on last night. They'll be on it, like I said, at least once a week. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping that we get Vaughn Michelle and we get Lolo and we get Jerry Garcia and Baldy and anybody that wants to, because it's good for all of us. All right. We all have similar viewers, and it just helps all of our platforms grow, and it just brings more people. And you never know who's going to need who's going to need to know where can I find a Survivor channel where I'm going to be safe. Well, we got your answers, you know. Where can I go? And you know, there are a lot of communities that are forming out of all of this, and it's awesome. They are good for us, says From This I Know. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell just from observing that they're good for you. And thank all of you for being here. Thank all of you in the chat. Cashapp, $americandufus. Kudos for you, to you, Patriot Lady, for being here. Lonnie, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you From This I Know. She-Hawk. We'll be on at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll do this all over again, only we will have the one and only Telescope on with us. And look forward to that. Spread the word. Let everybody know Telescope's going to be on. And thank you very much. Thank you, Mater. Thank you, Cunning. Thank you, GA. Jungle Jane, Feisty Mama, Michaela. Everybody for being on here. Email americandufus@gmail.com. Cash App, $americandufus, all one word. Latest novel, America, Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave. BTM Sparky's reading it now. To get your copy, send me an email, ask me about it, and it's real quick and easy to do. Or you can, if you want an autographed copy, email me. Otherwise, it's in the description below the video. Thank you, Tupelo. Take care, everybody. I love y'all. We will see you tomorrow night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. in the Pacific region, and we will do it all again. It's called Late Night America. It's on the American Duke.